What's up, everybody? Hope you're amazing today. I'm amazing. And I'm back in town. I had been away hunting for a wedding venue for my sister. And I just got back in town and it was great seeing my family, my mom and my sis. Back to the real world. And today I'm going to embellish, hey Carrie, this piece that Jeff created a little while back to look like one of those beautiful Spanish blankets. I always forget what they're called, but you know what I mean, because you can look at this and tell exactly what it is that I mean. And so I really like how it looks. It's very clean, but you guys know me, I'm not that. So I want to create some movement in it. And I was thinking that I would just take these lines and embellish them to give them just some movement. And I don't know if I'm going to use these or not, but I got these from Amazon. They're just little squeeze bottles. Oh, I don't want to do that. Well, I already did it. Well, and they're supposed to have a cap in there. Derp. Okay. Oh, here they are. But I don't want to do that yet. So it's got a little tip on it. So I'm going to fill it, close it, and then I'll be able to control my resin. In theory, because, you know, resin's going to resin. So I'm going to leave some of these clear. Some of this clear, but I'm going to mix some colors. We're going to see what we like. Clara is out today. She's supposed to be getting some of her results from some tests. So send her some good vibes, prayers, juju, whatever you're into, for some good news for her. And let's get going. So this piece was done with, this was acrylics, right, B? Yeah, it was acrylics and Posca. First color I'm going to mix up is one of the new colors that we have. It's called Cotton Candy by Just Resin. It's in our shop, artistilldeath.com, along with all the colors that we're going to use today. I like this color because it's very vibrant and it's got a slight shimmer to it. Let me see if I can, I already got resin on my phone. It's got a slight shimmer to it, but the shimmer is like it's like a pearl shimmer. So it's very not overbearing. And a lot of people ask me all the time why I choose pastes instead of powders, but it just mixes in so beautifully, so effortlessly. And I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of mica particles floating up into the sky. Oops, sorry, y'all. How beautiful is that color? Yes, Carrie, it is one of my new pastes. Look at that delicious color. And this one is opaque, just for the record. I'm doing good. I haven't made a mess yet. I probably shouldn't have said that. Next one I'm going to mix up is Blue Lagoon. This is a translucent or transparent. I'm mixing up this color because I want to see if I can see through my resin to the lines, even though I made it a pretty dark color. But the tints, this color is Blue Lagoon by Color Obsession, also available in my shop. But they are forever see-through. What's up, Tia? Thank you for stopping in. We always love seeing your beautiful face. So this, no matter how much pigment I add, will always be see-through. And I'm going to do some magenta from Just Resin, I think. This is an old jar, so maybe not. Grab a different color real quick. So, is there green on there? Nope. Let's just do a turquoise. Do a turquoise luster. And if you guys have any questions about any paste, powders, tints, dyes, what's up, Tressa? How are you doing? Let me know when you have time to come by. That's beautiful color. And then I'm just going to do a white because there is white, but it's not that thick of a line of white, so maybe not. The color I just mixed up is Turquoise Luster by Just Resin. So let's do a purple instead because there is purple for sure in the piece. This color is called Pretty Periwinkle. It's from Resin Art. It's a dry paste, so it looks like a powder, but it really just melts into the resin. And since it is a dry paste and not just a regular mica, it's very, the particles are heavier. So even if I were to vigorously mix this up, you can see even with the flash on that nothing's really hitting the air. Pretty Periwinkle. I probably would have called this an indigo, but you can see it's very rich color. The Resin Art colors have such a sparkle to them. It's bananas. Okay, so we have our colors mixed. And I've never done this before, so I'm semi-nervous. So I'm using the Stone Coat Art Coat today because it's my jam resin. But I went ahead and pre-mixed it up before we started filming so that you guys don't have to just sit here and watch me do that. Now, once you put resin in these bottles, most likely it's going to be one and done in terms of use. There's probably a way to clean them out. I don't have the time, patience, or knowledge. Ultimately, you could probably just mix up some acetone or some like 90% alcohol and be able to clean it out. But yeah. So I am going to start at the top and create my design. And then for every other color that I add, I'm just going to break around it. So make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. We're going to start with this line up here. Okay. So let's do a test. Sweet. It kind of seems like it has like a little bit of a texture of like a puff paint. Not a texture, but like the consistency coming out of this little squirt bottle. It's pretty handy for control, if I do say so myself. Now, after having just done that, I can tell you that it's going to squeeze out at probably a 1/4 inch. So even though I squeeze out a kind of a skinny line, it's already blooming because it's going to want to self-level down to an 1/8 inch. So just be advised that it's going to bloom. So if you're trying to do super skinny lines, go real fast so that you don't pipe out so much. Pipe out, can I say pipe out, squeeze out? I don't know. Thank you, Tressa. That I think everybody needs this color. It's one of my new favorites. It's Cotton Candy from Just Resin. Okay, so I'm just going to drip down this way. When I squeeze less and move faster, you can see it's kind of a skinnier line. However, I'm going to have to widen it a bit because I did not draw it straight. And then whenever you have drips, you can round this top edge to make it look more realistic. And then since fluids kind of bulb out at the end, we're going to go ahead and do that. Now remember, resin's going to go where it's already been. So if you do something and you don't like it, and you try to just wipe it up, odds are the resin's just going to fill that bad boy right back in. So just keep that in mind. I think I'm going to do just some smaller drips as well, just like that. Ew, I was just going to squeeze a whole bunch of that out to fill it in, but don't do that because then you'll have to open your little squirt bottle and refill it. Just fill it in if you have any resin left on the side, just like that. I don't have any needle tip applicators in my shop right now. I'm out of them. So we're working with what we got. And sometimes you have to do that. And anytime you have to do that, it is okay. You know, a lot of times I just have to kind of just make do with what I've just got available. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think something's missing over here. And I think I'm just going to make a skinny one. But you know, anytime you want to do something like this and you're like, I'm just going to do something skinny, it'll end up being like eyeliner. And women, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It just gets out of hand sometimes. All right. Got that. Let's do a blue next. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, when you add a tint as opposed to a paste, it's going to be a thinner resin than what your paste resin mix is, because the tints are very watery. They actually have the consistency of water. And a paste is like a pudding. So when you mix that with resin, you're going to get kind of the average consistency between those two mediums. So just be advised about that. Now, I didn't think this all the way through, in that I'm not sure what I'm going to do when I come up to two colors touching, because I don't want them to bleed into each other and ruin my lines. So the way I'm going to work around that is just, first of all, I'm going to wing it. You know what would probably be easier is if I just draw a line and then make adjustments with one of my sticks. Ugh, sorry, guys. All right. How are the gel's consistency compared to the tints or the paste? So the gels are a lot thicker. They're probably what I would say in between the consistency of the paste and a tint. If you've tried the Alumilite dyes, they're a lot like that, but just slightly thinner to give you kind of a base of comparison. And we are going to end up heating this a bit, but we're not going to add too much heat because when you add heat, you thin out your epoxy. And when your resin is thinner, it's going to level down to less than an 1/8 inch. On my flight back from Nashville with my sister, I watched a lot of the Great British Baking Show. And now I want to do a whole bunch of piping. And I'm not sure why, but I feel like I just want to. Does anybody else do that? Watch cooking shows or baking shows and then decide that you're going to do that, even though you probably shouldn't even try it. At least that's true for me. I'm the only one that's fine, but I can't be the only one, right? So I'm going to get fancy with some of these drips. I say fancy, it's not fancy. It's just, I'm going to get artistic with them. We'll just connect them like this. Whenever you do drips, always round your corners because that's what water does. Or anything that is drippy. At least as far as I know. That was a good question, Carrie. Are there any other questions regarding the paste or any other of our materials that I can help people out with? I love answering questions. We're going to do the turquoise. And I think how I'm going to address the two colors meeting like this is just let it cure up a little bit. And once it's got a good tack to it, I'll just kind of scoot things together. And I think that'll be just fine. How are the effects of the gels? So the gel pigments are a lot like the tints, but they're a little bit thicker. So if you want to make cells, you'll probably have really good effects with cells on the gels because they're thicker. And in my experience, the thicker pigments just give me better cells. However, I have gotten cells with the Color Obsession tints as well. And they always look really good. Some people have problems getting cells with the tints though, just because they are thinner. They are transparent or translucent, so it's just a different look. But I honestly haven't had any problems getting cells with those. Cloudy Art, that's a great name. And you're in the UK? That's some place that my husband and I have been meaning to go to teach some art classes, but we haven't quite made it yet, but we're going to, promise, swear. Have you guys ever done any embellishment work with your fluid art, something like this? I typically am very particular about doing embellishments because I don't want to take away from the artwork that I spent all of the time doing. But I think there's definitely a place for it. I've also been thinking about doing some of my texture medium artwork and then putting resin over it to give just another new look. What do you guys think? What are you guys into watching? Do you like textured work, or are you guys more traditionalists? Lancashire? I would love to. How is the art scene there? There are a lot of artists.
That's the first.
I need another squeezy bottle. Also, I hope I said that right because words are hard generally for me. Has anyone ever done the dot art with resin? Maybe I should do that too. It's so sparkly, this pretty periwinkle, but all of the resin art dry paste are this sparkly. The Galaxy edition resin art pigments are ultra shimmery and sparkly. Boop. There we go. You can definitely see how the thinner ones are kind of bleeding out like this. So maybe don't do tints if you guys are going to attempt this type of work. Probably the dyes would have been a better choice because they're thicker. When you do drips, kind of vary the length of them, the width of them. Any kind of little fun action. Also, this is on a canvas, so I know I'm going to have a little of a dip problem. That's okay. I think it's still a great idea anyways. So once this has cured up a bit, I'm going to go in and attach the areas like this that are kind of broken. And then it'll look like his piece is melting. See, look, I made your piece melt.
Oh my gosh. It was fun.
I love it. So I'm going to hit with just a little bit of heat because we do want our resin to have a beautiful complexion. And if you don't, those air bubbles will kind of just stay in there and pop late in the game or not at all and give you a bunch of issues. Also, don't blast it with high air pressure like I just did because that can definitely move a lot of your resin out of where you want it. And if you wanted to be kind of a naturalist with it, you could just draw a line of resin and then tilt it up and let it drip naturally. But I don't leave things to chance like that. Now I do have a little bit of that resin left over, and I'm thinking I want to do, I just want to see what it looks like. Do I have a regular coaster that I wouldn't mind messing up? This is fine. I just want to see if I can dot a bunch of these colors and see if they'll stay. I did this one, I guess a couple weeks ago, last week. Will there be larger sizes of the tints? Sorry, spell check is stupid. Evelyn, are you talking about the color obsession tints? You guys hear him? I love his laugh. Now I'm just dotting these out just for proof of concept, just to see if I want to explore doing any of that dot work that's going around so popular right now. I don't know if I have the time or the patience to do one of those, but I want to see if my resin will stay domed. Whoops, that's a big air bubble. So it's good that I have some of my translucents, some of my paste, some of the dry paste for my thick mica. And so I can kind of see and gauge how much each one of these will relax and settle or self-level. See if one of them self-levels more or less than another one. It already looks like my blue dots are already kind of relaxing out a little bit more than the rest of them. Since we're playing, I just want to see. So since resin wants to go where it's already been, and anything other than that, you kind of have to force it to move outward. Doing things like this where your resin has to work to grow outward is always really neat, because essentially sometimes your resin has to kind of roll over itself to move outwards, and it's going to have to move outwards because you're stacking color on top of itself, so it has to go outwards. But to do that, it's going to roll over the outside colors in order to move outward. I hope that makes sense. Nothing's going to stop it from moving outward when you stack so much color on top of itself. And so I just want to see what it's going to do ultimately. I'm going to take this test piece and put it up. Whenever you have resin left over from doing a project or a piece, I always recommend taking the time to experiment, because odds are you're not going to mix up a whole bunch of resin in order to experiment, because you don't want to waste it. But when you have some left over, it's good to capitalize on the opportunity to experiment. Like,
so good.
like so. I've been thinking about doing like an entire resin embellish, like a resin doodle like this, but on a huger scale. I think that would be beautiful and a lot of fun. Oh my goodness, what if I did a whole octopus? Great. Now I'm very much thinking about what I could be doing with this type of thought process. Because I think it'd be a lot of fun to do an octopus like this and just do all the tentacles like this. I mean, maybe it won't look right. Maybe it'll not hold its shape well enough. But you don't know till you try, right? And I'm definitely one to try and not give up in the meantime. His laugh is so infectious.
There's a lady in the audience that's laughing so hard. What?
I'm going to quit going before I do too much, but I think I'm going to definitely explore this. I say I'm not going to do any more because I don't want to do the most, and then I just keep going. Anyone else have that problem? Can't be just me. Will there be larger sizes of the gel tint from Color Passion? I will find out for you, Evelyn. I'll ask Kim. I'm supposed to be having a call with her in the next couple of days. Cloudy Art says, you and a few other artists were the inspiration for me to give resin a go. Well, I'm so excited about that. Thank you for sharing that, because my only reason for doing YouTube is to help people to find different ways to express themselves in resin. So I really appreciate hearing that. And if you have any questions, I'm always happy to help. Resin is just a very awesome medium to do a whole bunch of different things with. And if there's anything I can be of assistance with, I'm very interested in always helping. Cloudy Art, what's your main medium? feel like I'm just creating a paisley, and also I'm okay with it. Goodness, like I'm out of resin now, at least in the pink. So I'm gonna have to, for real, fast forward this. No, I have one more idea. Okay, so here's what this one looks like. I'm gonna do one more. Hopefully my phone won't die before I get it done. Obviously, that would not be the most functional coaster. Obviously. Oh, I like all those. What is this one? I'll get it. Oh, Wayne. Nice to meet you, Wayne. Learn a trick. I mean, I'm going to do a trick I learned when I made brownies a lot. Just cake design.
My hand, brother.
So I do have a lot of just random coasters sitting about that I've made, and I'll probably be doing this in the big piece that I want to do. Oh, pretty. Ugh, I just tilted it. Should have known I was going to do something silly. Oh my goodness. Okay. Careful. You guys having an awesome Tuesday? I hope so. We'll just make this a little to daisy. Aww. I'm going to explore this more so it doesn't look quite so sloppy, messy, and horrible, but it's going to look great once I figure it out. Just y'all wait. But at least I know it works. Been experimenting with resin for a couple months. Sweet. Oh, you sold a piece. called Macaw. Oh, that's awesome, Wayne. Congrats. Listen, when you sell a piece of artwork, it doesn't matter if it's the first one or you sold 1,000. It's so special every time someone makes a sale. Don't take that away from yourself. All right, you guys, I have got to get back to work, but if you are interested in any of these colors, they were Cotton Candy from Just Resin, Blue Lagoon from Color Obsession. Boop. Way to go, Wayne. Pretty Periwinkle from Resin Art, and Turquoise Luster from Just Resin. Jeff is working on his airbrush rig because we're going to be airbrushing at a pool party on
and hopefully at
the 4th.
Local bars here in Dallas, painting hats on a Sunday or Saturday.
Yep. You could do it with UV resin, but coloring or tinting UV resin is kind of tricky business because the UV has to get through all the way for it to cure. Hope that makes sense. And on the back of that, his daughter wants me to do a blue and pink one. Way to go, Wayne. Congrats. Can't wait to see it. If you haven't yet joined our Facebook group, ATD's Poor People, so I can see all of the work that you do. I love to see what you guys are creating.
And we're going to have a TikTok shop.
Oh, yeah, we are setting up TikTok shop. Gwen, I'm happy to answer your question. What you got? Massive thank you for the inspiration you've given me. Oh, thank you for saying that. And I'm always here, always super happy to help. So always let me know what I can do and what you guys are interested in. If there's anything you guys want me to give a shot at, I always experiment with different art styles. The Barbie I recently did. She is available. Bowie is not available, but he's precious. And so, yeah, that concludes our live for today, but I'm going to stick around for another minute or so to see how I can help Miss Gwen. So I hope you guys subscribe if you haven't yet. Please purchase from our shop. We're a small business, and having the support of viewers like you guys is what keeps us open. And so, yeah, help us out. Please share our videos if you haven't. So I'm pregnant, and it's so hot outside. My cousin lives with me, and she's 5. Loves being outside. I'm so pregnant. Outside is miserable. I want to do art with her. What projects for art do you recommend? So I probably wouldn't do resin at 36 weeks pregnant, just because I don't know the research behind resin and pregnancies. So I can't advise about that. Have you done acrylic art? Or I wouldn't do alcohol inks or watercolor. For kids, a lot of times they like doing the little shapes that we do. I did these on a live. These cute little stained glass. Oh yeah, the smush videos where you just put a whole bunch of resin down. I do it in a lot of my videos at the end. Put a bunch of resin down, and then, or not resin, or acrylics in your case. Put a whole bunch of color down, put 2 coasters on themselves, and then pull it apart like an Oreo. I do classes. Watercolors are great for kids because they're very forgiving, and even if you accidentally leave your colors out like this, they reactivate as soon as you put water on them. I don't have any water, I would show you, but I guess I can just lick my finger. So they reactivate super easy. So watercolor is good, acrylics are good. If she's about putting anything in her mouth, these are not it, but there are paints that are made. Don't do oils. There are paints made for children, and they're safe if you put it in your mouth. They're called temp. What are those paints called that babies can eat?
That babies can eat?
Well, they're not supposed
Tempera paint?
Tempera paint. It's like mostly water. I'm not saying she should eat it. Please try not to eat it.
You use on construction paper in kindergarten.
Yeah, it's kindergarten paint. So if you do get it in your mouth, it's not gonna hurt. Yeah, tempera paint. Thank you, Evelyn. Oh yeah, outside is crazy. It's 114 in Dallas right now. Anyways, she doesn't put stuff in her mouth, but honestly, she's 5. I can never be too sure. Yeah, understood. So you guys, I hope you have an awesome, awesome day. I got to get back to doing some work on a commission piece that I hope I nail. And I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you, Gwen, for asking those questions. And Cloudy Art, Wayne, I'm so glad that you sold your piece. Those are beautiful places, Wayne. Oh, you're Dallas too? Yeah. It's a whole nother world right now in Dallas. All right, you guys, be kind to one another because you never know what someone's going through. And always remember that we do the test so you don't have to. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. I said it because I waited.
Oh, I don't. I wasn't listening. I'm trying to get these cleaned up and returned. Always remember we do the test so you don't have to. And I said bye.
Way to go. Yes, all the things. Be kind to each other. You never know what someone's going through. And always remember that we do the test so you don't have to.
Oh. Just
they were repeating it with me. Okay. Anyways, y'all are amazing. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central. Bye. Canvas, did you say bye? Yeah. Bowie, say bye.